Welcome to the Creation Grounds podcast, where we break down the success, habits, and the life of people in creative fields, discover how they've gotten to where they are, what they aspire to be, and how you can live your dreams too. Let's get to the show. Germar, Gardner, what's up, man?
Sir, everything's cool, man. How you?
I'm doing good, man. Trying to keep cool in this hot weather.
Yeah, it is hot.
Yeah, we have a lot in common, man. Where did you grow up?
From Bridgeport, yeah.
From Bridgeport?
You have that kind of port side.
The port side, okay. How was it growing up in Bridgeport?
It was cool, man. It was cool. I grew up on the north end of Bridgeport.
Mm-hmm.
When I was first born, I grew up. I was on the east side. I don't remember. I think it's east side, Park Avenue, North Avenue area.
Park Ave, that's the north side, isn't it? Park Ave goes...
Park Ave over by North Ave, though.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, I think it's like the east side. It's
yeah.
The east end is Stratford Avenue.
Yeah.
But long story short,
Yeah.
I grew up, I spent the first 3 years in that area.
Uh-huh. My
father moved us out of there to the north end of Bridgeport, bought a house. But for me, you know, it was cool. Yeah, I don't know how deep I should get into it. I probably should have asked that.
I mean, you can get deep. However it was, what your experience was like growing up. I mean, Bridgeport is an inner city for people that don't know.
Right.
It's now there's good area. It's the unique thing about Bridgeport is that it's near so many affluent areas. You know what I mean? And economically, Bridgeport just has a vast difference. You know what I mean? So I grew up with people that were very wealthy that lived in like Trumbull, and I also knew people that lived on the east end. I lived on the east side, like you. So I also noticed that there's a lot of common pitfalls. You could fall into like whatever it is in the inner city. How'd you avoid that?
Well, I would say that I had a healthy fear of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I guess to piggyback off of that last question too, is like growing up in Bridgeport and how surviving those pitfalls. It's like, you know, I had a pretty big family, and my father, he grew up in the projects in Bridgeport. He was from Georgia, and when he moved to Connecticut, the first place they moved was PT.
Oh yeah.
Back in the 60s.
Yeah, so it wasn't no joke back then.
Nah. Yeah. So, you know, he, I guess in his mind, I guess what all parents want for their kids is, you know, their kids to do better than they did.
For sure.
So as soon as he was able to, he worked hard enough and got us a house and moved us out. Now moving out from the east side or east end to the north end, it was like you said, it was a really good environment. But funny thing is, like, I grew right down the street was the projects, was the terrace.
Yep.
So, you know, there was that contrast. So it was weird. It was like my cousins, a lot of my cousins, they came up in that street like too much of the flack.
Right.
That, you know, from the negative end. So I would say like avoiding the pitfalls, like, you know, it was my father, his brothers, my mother, her brothers. It was, you know, I had that contrast. So most of my cousins were involved in that street stuff.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I admired it. I'm not gonna lie. You know, for about, I think it was 2 years or something, one of my cousins lived with us. He was involved in a gang. You know, he was selling drugs. And I saw him, you know, matter of fact, he took me to buy my first pair of Timberlands. Yeah. Because I was just rocking, you know, regular, you know, regular, you know,
what are those?
No name, right. I was rocking one of those. So, you know, he took me to buy my first pair of Timberlands. So that lifestyle was attractive to me. But at the same time, I knew, you know, my father was getting up and putting on a shirt and tie and a suit and going to work.
Right.
And he was, you know, talking to me about, I hate to sound cliche-ish, man, but, you know, he was just talking to me about the evolution of the black man, if you will, in America.
For sure.
And I knew a little bit about his story, especially, you know, the older I got. I was able to comprehend it a little bit more. So that's how I feel. That's how I was able to, you know, split that difference, is because yeah, this was attractive, but I knew what that led to.
Right.
Because while I did have cousins in the street, another thing that come with that street life is,
Yeah.
it's one or
Jail.
two ways,
Right.
right? So a lot of my cousins that was into that, some of them was ended up in jail.
Yeah.
A couple of them ended up dead.
Yeah.
My uncle, as a matter of fact, he was murdered when I was, I think I want to say like 10 or 11. I remember getting a phone call.
Wow.
So, I was able to see like, all right, yeah, that looks cool, but this is what's going to happen if you continue to do it.
That's good.
And then, and my father and my uncles and those influences. So that's how I was able to avoid it. And, the fear.
That's
of
me
going
too,
to jail.
me too, brother. Me too.
You know?
That'll do it for you. Tell us about your football career at Central.
Oh,
We
yeah.
both went to Central High School.
Right,
It
right,
was
right.
like
When
an
did you graduate?
I graduated in 2007.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I think we had that talk too.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like a baby.
Yeah, I'm like a baby. Yeah. We had a good squad though, man. With 10 and
Yeah,
0.
that's
you
what,
guys too, right?
No, well, we had the potential, but we got Catalina towards the end,
Oh.
or towards our end.
Oh, dang.
So he came in my senior year, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
But we still was able to be hard enough.
They just lost last year. Did you hear about that?
Yeah,
They broke the
first
streak,
one,
man.
right? And Catalina wasn't coaching that year, was he?
No. That's probably why.
Catalina he's boss hog, man.
Yeah, man.
He's a real deal. You played ball too, right?
Yeah, man. I was a corner.
Right.
I was one of the speedier dudes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played defensive end.
Yeah.
Offensive tackle. And then at that time there wasn't a whole lot of us that we were all interchangeable.
Yeah.
And we were coming off of like horrible seasons with Miska and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And Catalina was real serious about football. So I think when he got there, that's when I started to. I wanted to be serious about it, but I wanted to play around with the girls too.
Yeah, for sure.
You're an athlete,
For sure.
Even though I never got my leather jacket.
No?
Nah.
Oh, you didn't get it?
Did you get one?
Nah, I didn't get one.
Yeah, I wish I would have got that. He football was cool, man. When he got there, he turned us on to like a whole nother side of it because we weren't really working out that much, and even if we did, it was just like, yeah, go to the gym and work out. He had us on a regiment. We were out in the parking lot after practice doing calisthenic drills,
The gassers,
all that stuff, and then we would go into the weight room. So I think around that point, like, was when I really started to take football seriously, like thinking about it in a way of I can possibly get money to go to school for this.
for sure.
And even before Catalina too, because Catalina, he had a connection with certain schools.
Right.
And those schools I wasn't really interested in. I wanted the HBCU experience.
Right.
And my guidance counselor at the time was Miss Cummings.
Okay.
Was Miss Cummings? Is that her last name? Yeah. Carpenter was upstairs. Miss Cummings was in the guidance counselor office.
Yeah.
And she was getting me recruited.
That's
by
cool.
HBCU. She was calling them up for me and sending them my information. So yeah, football and high school football, I think that was probably when I had the most fun.
Yeah.
With it. Yeah.
It was in your heart back then, like to.
It was. You know what? I want to say it was always in my heart. I started out. I never played football before high school.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I want to say because I have a memory of trying to play Pop Warner, but I was too big.
Oh man.
Yeah, I was a big kid.
Like tall or like
I was
just
fat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was a fat boy. So I didn't play Pop Warner, and the first time I ever put on pads or anything was at Notre Dame. Was my freshman year in high school at Notre Dame in Fairfield.
Okay.
And the first hit the day of practice,
Yeah.
I had a headache the entire practice.
Oh man.
But I stayed with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, my head was ringing.
Yeah.
It was hot too, so you know how that goes,
Yeah.
man. And I got popped. So and then from then on, it was just like I was good at it.
Yeah.
I thought I was good at it, and
That's
like
talent.
I was getting the praise from coaches. It was like me and two other dudes who got moved up to varsity that freshman year. So I was like, yeah, this is it, man.
Okay. So you could have gone pro, right? You could have.
I think I could have. My coaches in college, the day I quit,
Yeah.
I went up there. I went upstairs. I went upstairs and I was like, you think I got a chance? He was like, yeah, I think you do. This is what you need to do. Funny thing is, that same year, because I was playing in college ball, I had started out as a nose tab. Actually, so I started out with that story about how Miss Cummins was getting me recruited for HBCUs. She got me recruited at Delaware State University, which is the school I graduated from.
Right.
Got there, the coach that I was talking to, they had this thing called it's kind of like red shirt, but it's different, I guess, at that level. It's called Proposition 48.
Okay.
Whereas you work out with the team, you hang out with the coaches. If you are getting a scholarship, it's not available to you once you are there. And this is why it was Proposition 48, because I think a red shirt is different. Like, you have all the credits. I was messing around in high school a lot, so I didn't have all the grades I needed.
Right.
So that's why it was Proposition 48. So I needed to get my GPA up to a certain average, or complete all of my courses that freshman year and sophomore year I could play. But the coach that brought me in left that next year. That was his last season. I didn't even know. So I had to walk on that my sophomore year in college. So I did that, and I was balling. Like, I walked on and I started. Got the starting position at nose tackle.
Wow.
And I was pretty nice, but I was small.
Yeah.
I was 255. Average height on starting line for HBCU is like 6'3".
Yeah, some big boys.
Average weight is 310. So I'm 255. I'm getting tall. I'm getting my ass tossed all over the place.
Yeah.
But I was quick. I was quick off the ball.
Yeah.
And playing nose, I'm right over the center.
Yeah.
So as soon as the ball hikes, I'm back there.
Right.
But if I'm getting, if it's a double team, if somebody's coming down, I'm done.
Yeah.
So my last year that I was getting ready to play, I had went up. My coach, we had got a new coaching staff in. He was like, Gardner, you too small, Gardner. I need you to get big. I need you to come back to camp at 315 pounds. And I did that, and I couldn't move like I was moving before. So I had that going on, and I was like, man, I really want to do that. At the time, I had a shorty back at home. I was like sucker for love at that point in time. So I was missing her. One of my best friends who was on the squad, he had failed off. Actually, two of my best friends that were on the squad failed off. So I'm in, camp. We had like 4 practices a day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah. Well, let me go talk to these dudes and see what they think. Because if I could do it, then I'll stay. So I'm like, yeah, what do you think? And that's when we had to talk. He was like, yeah, Gardner, I think you could. I had a couple of looks. But nothing like serious. Nothing like, like the Giants are coming to talk to me or anything like that. But I had some looks. But it was just at that point in time, I think it was. I don't know if I want to say it wasn't in my heart. It just wasn't. It just.
You weren't moved by it.
The connection wasn't like it. There were things that were keeping me there.
Yeah.
Like in college, that's why I said in high school it was fun. In college, it was more like a job.
Right.
So it wasn't really. I wasn't having any fun with it at that time.
And you found fun like in acting in your creative writing course? Was that in college or high school?
That was in high school.
High school.
And I wouldn't say that I found my love for acting in that course. I found out that I could do something other than play sports.
Right.
Because at the time, I was always writing.
Yeah.
I loved poetry. My father used to read me Langston Hughes when I was younger.
Nice.
He used to help me to memorize some stuff. He used to read, he had the Last Poets record. He would play that.
Yeah.
So I was always into that. I was always into music and, not just like playing instruments, but the words in the song. Like I loved the way, words were put together. But I had never really done it like that. And then on top of that, nobody had ever really told me I was good at it.
Right.
So when I took that class, and I took it, and it was just kind of like, all right, I need some credits, and I could probably just breeze through this one. And she gave me a writing assignment, and I got the best grade in the class. And she like sat up in the front of the class and read it to everybody in the class. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, at that point, then I was like, like maybe I could. And I think she talked to me about that. I think she might have said to me I should major in journalism. I want to say that she did.
It's kind of the same thing, journalism. Denzel actually studied journalism. I mean, in terms of like character prep, you have like the who, what, when, where, all those like typical questions.
Right.
So it kind of ties in.
Right.
So that makes sense that she would say something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, but acting, that term, I had always loved acting though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your first role?
My very first role was in a church play.
A church play?
Yep.
Okay.
I played one of the guys who discovers that Jesus was no longer in the tomb.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think my line was, "He's not in here.
He's not in here.
Yeah, I think that was it. That was all
Oscar.
I said. Right. I was working for it. So
Yeah.
I practiced for it.
That's funny.
Yeah. No, that was my first role though.
Cool. Was your family supportive at all in the beginning?
Nah.
Are they now? After?
They believe a little bit more.
Okay, cool.
No, you know what? I can't say. It's weird. You know what's funny? I think about how I might conduct myself in interviews
Yeah.
when the time comes, and how I want to answer that question, because I don't want to make my parents seem like they're horrible people.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I also don't want them to think that it was cool.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it was, in the beginning, it's rough. I have a daughter.
Yeah.
I had her before I pursued acting.
Right.
So, and then, as you know, as all actors know, it's hard as hell in the beginning. It's hard as hell in the middle, or whatever.
I don't think it's hard.
Right. Yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
If you don't catch that break, you know, it's some difficulties. So there were times, the very first time I told my father. And it's funny, I had a conversation with somebody about this the other day. They were like, "Well, when did you know you wanted to act?" Acting is one of the first things that I can remember wanting to do.
Wow.
You know how people are like, "Oh, I used to want to be a fireman or a pilot or an astronaut." I said, "Nah." First thing I could ever remember wanting to do was to be an actor. And I tell my father this story, and he'll deny it till the day he dies.
Yeah.
I remember running up the stairs, and I remember opening the basement door, and I remember saying, "Dad, I know what I want to do." "What you want to do?" "I want to be an actor." "I don't know if you want to do that, man.
Yeah.
You should probably try something else because you might not make it."
Yeah.
And I had that in my head for the rest of my life.
Right.
And then, even as time went on, I remember when I was doing bad and I had to move back into my mother's house, and I remember my mother saying to me, she was like, "Well, I started taking acting classes in 2008.
Yeah.
And it
was
was
at the
Alan Gardner.
Okay.
Yeah. And I remember 2011, I was in my mother's room. I shouldn't have even been in there watching TV. Cause I brought it on myself.
Yeah.
She came home from work and she was like, "Well, maybe," I forgot how we started the conversation, but she was like, "Yeah, well, maybe you should try something else, because it's been 2 years and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So maybe you should leave this alone."
Right.
And she'll deny that too.
Yeah.
But then even with that, them saying that, my parents are from the South.
Right.
Working class. Like this, even the stuff that I'm doing now.
Yeah.
It almost seems like impossible.
Yeah.
To believe sometimes.
Right.
So I understand why they want, your parents want to see you do well.
They love you, man. That's
right.
all.
They love you, and they want to make sure if they all have this fear or this idea that they're going to leave here before us.
Yeah.
And they want to make sure that if they leave here, we're going to be set.
Yeah.
So how your people feel? Is that all right? I want to ask you questions too.
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, my pops. I never knew my pops. But my mother, she's always been actually. I remember for me, like in the audience after plays, she would stand up and say, "That's my baby." She was one of those
graduation thing, right?
Yeah. So my mom's really cool. She's really flamboyant. And so she was supportive, but they were very real with me. Yeah. They were like, "This is gonna be hard. You're gonna have to do this, X, Y, and Z to do this."
Yeah.
So I had the support, but I also had the realism of knowing that it's not just gonna be given to you. You know what I mean? So it was cool. I have some support for sure.
That's good.
Yeah, man. How you feel about your daughter? Does she inspire you in terms of your acting?
Definitely, man. Especially after we won the SAG.
Yeah.
And she was I didn't even know that my parents were. I should have known that they were watching. But she stayed the night at my mother's that night while I was out there.
Yeah.
And watched the show. and she called me up, and you know, to hear her voice
Yeah.
and
Did you
say
cry?
stuff like that. I did.
Yeah.
Not while I was on the phone with her.
Oh, okay.
I cried later because I don't know if that matters, but I'll just talk anyway. My grandfather had died while I was shooting
Yeah.
Orange.
Right.
Um, and I had always, you know, he used to get on me too, you know, but he was supportive, but it was from, you know, hey man, you got to make money, man. I understand that's what you want to do, but you got to find a way to make some money, man. You got to, you know, so and he didn't get a chance to see me, you know, because I used to tell him like, watch, you know, I know y'all don't think I'm gonna do it, but watch, I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna get you in grandma's house. I'm gonna do all this stuff, and you know, he was alive to when I got on the show.
That's cool.
Yeah, so he knew I was actually working on the show, but like, you know, I think it was halfway through shooting season 3. My mother called me that morning, and me and my grandfather were tight. That's like my best friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I cried, because I was like, damn man, I wish I could call him up and be like, look, you know,
I got it.
You know, and you know what's funny? Even if I would call him up and be like, look, I got a trophy.
He's like,
he'd be like, all right, now can that pay your rent?
Oh man, that's funny.
He would have said something like that.
He's from the South too?
No, he was born and raised in Bridgeport.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So tell us about the day prior to booking Orange and the day after, because that's huge news. You, from what I understand, you were close to giving up. Your mom was coming down on you. You wanted to, you know, raise your daughter and all that, and then you get the call that you booked this huge show, and you prepared for the audition for like all night, right?
I did all night until the morning. Yep. I binge watched about six episodes. I didn't even mean to.
Yeah.
But the show was that good.
It is a good show.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
And not just because I'm on it. It was a good show. The day before. Well, I'll do it linearly. So got the audition, and at the time I was working at Cablevision.
Right.
I was making good money at Cablevision too. So I was working at Cablevision, and I had got it set up to where I don't know if this will mess me up for any future jobs, but no, I had they had it's a rough job, man. Like they're very demanding, but they offer a lot of stuff to their employees. So I had took advantage of this program where if you like say, oh man, sitting on the phone like this gives me headaches. You go see a doctor. The doctor says, yeah, sitting on the phone gives you headaches. All right, well, we'll approve for 24 hours a week. So each week you have 24 hours that you can just take off. They can't question you about anything.
Wow.
So I did that.
Yeah.
So whenever I had an audition, I would just take off the whole day.
Right.
So I auditioned for Orange, and the night before, I had my daughter that night actually, and I had called Lolita Foster, who is on the show as well.
Right.
And we had talked about just some prep and what you know, think about this, different things to think about, you know, as far as the situation with the character, because they didn't give me a whole lot to go on. It was just that one scene in that first episode I appeared in season 2 where I'm patting down, I don't forget his name right now, Matt McGorry. Yeah. So yeah, you know, I worked on that. You know, I made pretend that there was a person in front of me. I was like, all right, well, if his torso is this long, then his arms have to be like this. And you know, I just tried to map it out basically. So I prepared. I got all my lines down and all that stuff for audition. I was like, yo, I gotta watch the show to see, you know, how I should carry myself, because I don't know, you know, it could be drama, comedy, I don't know, like how the tempo. So I watched episode 1, and next thing I know, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm on like episode 6 or something like that. So I didn't even sleep that night. I just hopped up, you know, got my daughter ready for school, hopped on the train, went out there. So that was that portion of it. And then, you know, it takes a while to hear stuff back. Does that drive you crazy?
It does, man.
I try not to call in that,
right?
I can't help it, man. I don't do it anymore. I just, you know, stew on my own shit silently. But, so yeah, you know, I'm sitting there wondering what's going on. I had auditioned for 2 things, actually. I had auditioned for Hostages, and I had auditioned for Orange.
Okay.
So I was just waiting to hear back. and I got a call from my daughter's school, and we had been late on some. She was in a private school at that time. And
Yeah.
they wanted a lot of dough. So we were late. We were backed up on some payments. So I had dropped her off at school and left. And they called me. The school called me, and they were like, "Yo, you gotta come and get your daughter." I'm like,
Wow.
"Yeah."
Yeah, yeah.
What are you talking about? Yeah, this hasn't been paid and this, and we've been sending letters. And I'm like, well, hold on, she's already in school. Like, it's not. It was probably like 8:40, 8:45 or something like that. And I'm like, well, she can stay for the rest of the day, but you need to go and make this payment here, and if it's not paid, she can't come to school tomorrow.
Oh.
So that's a fucked up phone call to get.
Yeah.
Like, my daughter can't go to school.
Yeah.
And all praise due to her mom, man. Because at the time, she was the sole provider.
Yeah.
Until I started working at Cablevision, and even then, it's like just giving what I could.
Right.
So, went over to the place, made the payment, laid back, went home, laid down, and I had to go to work that same day. So it was probably about 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just laying in bed, just thinking about it, like, damn, I was close. What am I gonna do? You know what? This is stupid. I wasn't gonna quit.
Yeah.
I had quit. In my mind, I was done.
Yeah.
I just hadn't made the call to Annette yet.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I can't do this no more. If I stay at Cablevision, if I work hard and do, my best, in 6 months I could be making up to like $25 an hour.
Yeah.
6 months after that, I could be making like $30, $40 an hour.
Yeah.
I don't need this no more. It's pointless. Laid down. I had made up my mind. I was like, this is it. That's the path. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Laid down, closed my eyes. As soon as I closed my eyes, Annette called me.
Wow.
And told me that I got orange. And then, like, an hour after that, she called me and told me I got hostages too.
You booked 2 in the same day?
I booked 2 the same day.
I didn't know you booked hostages, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Similar roles?
Yeah, prison guard.
That's pretty dope, man. That's congratulations to you, man.
Thank you.
That's grace right there, man.
Yeah, it is.
For sure, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. You can't, and I talk to people, and they're like, oh, I talk to people nowadays, and it's like, you gotta have drive.
Yeah.
You gotta work for it. And I agree with that, man. I'm wholeheartedly, like, I prepare for every audition.
Yeah.
I try to go back to class as much as I can.
Yeah.
And just, keep myself sharp.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, like you said, it's grace.
Yeah.
I couldn't plan that at all.
Yeah.
I had in my mind, I was done.
Yeah.
I was completely done, and then I got that call.
So what was the first day of set like for you? I mean, what do you wish you knew prior? Is that your first experience on set? Was Orange the first thing you booked?
No.
Okay, so you have set experience.
I've had I'm trying to think what I did before that. I worked on some Nickelodeon stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prison Guard?
Nah. It was oh man, I can't even think of the name of that right now. It's on my resume too, I think. Man, some kids show, 2 kids shows actually, and the second one I had booked because of the first one.
Wow. Okay.
The director of the first one was friends with the director of the second joint, and that was just a body double type thing.
Yeah.
They killed me that day too.
Did they?
Man.
How long was the day for you?
It wasn't even how long the day was. It was what they made me do. It was a day like today.
Yeah.
It was hot, and I was gonna be like, there's this little. I was a bigger version of this little black kid that's on the show. Dang, I can't remember the name of the show, but this little black dude, when he gets mad, he turns into a wolf.
Okay.
Like, he gets big, turns into a wolf. So they had me be a body double. I guess they put something over my face. I still haven't seen the damn episode.
Yeah.
But so I guess to calm me down or something like that, somebody was throwing a ball, and I was pretending to be a dog. And it was like a New York City block.
Yeah.
You know how long it's like, damn near half a mile.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, I want you to run as fast as you can. So I did that. Boom. Came back. They're like, all right, let's do it again. Did that. Came back. We did that joint like at least 10 times.
Oh man.
I lost mad weight that day.
Yeah.
I had to.
Sweating it all off.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. I'm breathing heavy. Yeah, but it was cool. I know I gotta be in shape now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But no, yeah. So I did that. I'm sorry, I'm going all off topic. I did Nickelodeon. I did that other kids show. So yeah, it wasn't my first. It wasn't my very first time on set. It was my first time on a set of that magnitude. Yeah.
Was it? Were you? What was it? Open arms? Did they welcome you? Yeah, for sure. I feel like that cast is pretty like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mad cool, man. To this day, still, man, it's like that always bugs me out. Seeing people that. And some people, I think, on the show, I feel like the reason that they are so embracing is because this show is pretty much like everybody's catapult.
Pretty much.
Like for a lot of people on that show, like they were working here and there.
Yeah.
But now they're superstars.
For sure.
So it's like that's humbling, man. Like to be like, yo, I'm doing it. I'm talking to somebody that was on the show. They're like, oh, I wish I could have done Law and Order. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but you got your own Law and Order right here. Like
exactly.
This is the biggest stepping stone you could ever have.
It is. How many awards? You guys have a couple Emmys. You guys have.
I don't know for sure how many Emmys.
Yeah.
I don't have one, but
the show.
I know. I was
Yeah.
messing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got. I know they are Emmy Award winner. I should have looked that up before I got here, huh? I know we had 2 SAGs for Best Ensemble, and then Uzo, she's got
a couple,
like 30.
Yeah, she's winning a lot.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of Orange fans. A lot of Orange fans that might be listening. Any behind the scenes bloopers, any funny stories you want to share, like pranks, anything that people were doing?
Yeah, nothing too crazy ever happened to me. I'm trying to think if I seen it. I've been thinking about it too. I haven't really seen any, but you know, everybody is so. I don't want to say it's laid back. Like people are there, you know, just not, you know, everybody's working hard.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think that plays on, at least for me it does, and it seems like it does for everybody else. I wouldn't know for sure. But everybody's just having fun.
Yeah.
So it's everybody's just happy to be there. So yeah, in between takes, like you know, the dude who plays O'Neal, Joel. He's a friend of mine outside of the show, and so in between takes, you know, he'll be singing or something, or you know, making us laugh. And you know, you always get that from the director. All right, take it easy. Let's bring it down. But yeah, nothing too crazy, like, you know, people putting a whoopee cushion or anything.
No,
nothing
maybe
like
you
that.
maybe you should introduce it. You know?
I might have to.
Might have to, man.
I'll wait until I'm a little bit. My name is up there a little bit more.
Yeah,
like,
you don't want to get fired.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you got jokes?
Yeah.
Let me tell you a good one.
You don't want that call for sure. What are you most excited about in your life right now? What inspires you most in life? That'd be a better question.
The uncertainty of life. I would say.
That's a good question. A good answer.
I would say that. I like after that. I wouldn't say directly after I got the call that I got on Orange. But it definitely did play a part in the movements that I've been making in my life since then. It's just allowing myself to be open to whatever the universe has to bring to me.
Yeah.
So that inspires me a lot. My daughter inspires me. The idea of what she can become, like without, you know, those boundaries.
Yeah.
You know, like I grew up with. And you know, even though I was good at sports, you know, there was always but. You know, you're good, but you know, you could do this, but I don't want to instill that in her. You know, like you said, you know, the people, you know, you gotta have that reality talk with your kids about, you know, just having options, I guess. But at the same time, not to be a dream killer. For sure. You know, because it's like that. You know, imagine if you didn't tell a kid that, you know, he couldn't do this, couldn't do that. Like, what would it be?
It's true.
Or if he didn't grow up in a certain environment, what could happen to that kid if he doesn't have any idea that he can't do something?
Right. What would you say to that kid? If somebody out there is listening, they want to act or whatever it is that they want to do. Say that they want to, pursue their dreams, but they're like, I can't do this. I can't do this at all. When, based on your experience and based on what you observe around people around you, what would you say to that kid to inspire them to say, don't give up on your dreams. You can overcome adversity, things like that.
That right there.
Right there.
Just don't give up, or not even don't give up. It's just first. Where did that idea come from? People need to understand that. Like when we say stuff about what we can't do, or even down to the things that we like or things that we think we can't do. Where did that idea come from? You got to think about that kind of thing. I don't think people take that into consideration.
Right.
And then us coming from Bridgeport, you got to take that into consideration too. Your neighborhood, the people that you're closest to, what are they doing? Like I said, one of my cousins, when I was still a teenager before I got out of school. Two of my cousins. So I had, my uncle had got shot. A bunch of stuff happened. So I was having that talk also with that person the other day in Bridgeport, and I was like, I didn't think I was gonna make it past 30.
Yeah.
I wasn't even a thug.
Yeah, right.
But
you got.
Did you have some of that?
Well,
that,
I mean, there was a
that
fight,
fear or that
for
idea?
For sure. I mean, Central High School, you walk through metal detectors every day. There was a fight that broke out every single day. Just that kind of putting on, just being aware. I think it gives you a huge awareness.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, for sure.
That plays into your psyche, man.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. So I would say to people, it's like, don't. There's so much I would want to say.
Okay, so pick your top three. Top three.
Don't limit yourself.
Okay.
Because you're limitless.
Right.
I think that would probably be the main one.
Okay.
Don't limit yourself because you're limitless. Find out about that limitlessness, if that's even a word.
Yeah.
Like, find out what that means to be limitless.
Right.
I mean, really. Like, it's not just about, these are the options that I have or I've seen. No. I had this talk with my daughter, too. What do you want?
Yeah.
Because it didn't just, come out of thin air. I feel like I'm a wholehearted believer in that. Like, I don't think that anything is happening just by circumstance.
Yeah.
This is all a walk. Is it predestined? I don't know. I don't know if I wouldn't even go as far as to say, I know that. But there's a power in this universe that we can't explain.
Yeah.
And it's always working. And depending on how you look at your life, it could be working towards it's always really working towards your benefit.
Yeah.
But, sometimes people get down, I haven't, especially actors.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from this movie, or you have heard and all you've heard is no.
Right.
Every no is going to get you closer to a yes.
Yep.
And if this is what you want, then this is what you should be doing. You shouldn't force yourself to do anything else outside of what you want to do. Because at the end of the day, when we leave this planet, this is all this life is all we have. Maybe we come back, maybe we don't.
Yeah.
But for the time being, people say, oh, you can't take it with you. Damn straight, you can't. So why not go for the goal?
For sure. For sure, man.
That's my take on it. I don't know much though.
You just booked a gig, man. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Tell us what you can about the gig.
No problem.
Yeah.
I think I can say this because I looked it up myself, and anybody who was a fan of her can look it up on the internet, and there are a couple of stories, not anything big, but they're doing a piece, they're doing a feature film about the life of Roxanne Shante.
Yeah.
Roxanne.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's the song that came before. That's the reason why she came out, was because, no wait. Yeah, let me stop before I make myself look stupid. I don't even remember all the history of it. I'm learning myself before I get on set. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing her bodyguard.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you, man.
Thank you.
Where can people contact you? You got social media, you got Twitter, you got anything to promote, websites? How can people learn more about you? How can people follow your career?
Everything that you're doing. Do that, huh?
You don't have any social media?
I have Facebook.
Okay.
I am on Twitter. Facebook is just my regular name, Germar Terrell Gardner.
How do you spell that?
G-E-R. Get your pen.
Get your pen out,
All right.
folks.
You got it? All right, cool. GermarTerrellGardner. Germar Terrell Gardner. That's on Facebook. On Twitter, it's at Germar Gardner. Gotta check because I don't usually go on Twitter that much.
Yeah. I'll put it in the show notes too if like you can send it to me later.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
And and I'm gonna get back on Instagram at some point. And it's probably just gonna be Germar Terrell at Germar Terrell. So be looking out for that, I guess.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
Well, much more blessings to you, man.
Same to you, man.
Keep on doing your thing in your career.
Thanks for coming. This is cool, man. Thank you for having me. This is awesome, man. I'm glad that you wanted to meet with me.
For sure, man.
I feel good about that. Yeah,
good.
Bridgeport represent.
There you go.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Peace.
That's it for this episode of The Creation Grounds. I'm your host, Aaron Lloyd. Be sure to check out our Instagram for future and previous guest info, and check out our YouTube channel in the show notes below. Email us with any suggestions at thecreationgrounds@gmail.com. And if you got something out of this, I'd really appreciate if you spread the word and the love. Until next time, this is Aaron Lloyd telling you that the sky is the limit. Stay creative.